The daffodils have made it in. These boxes are all daffodils. You can go, Gus. Look at them. And this isn't even all the fall bulbs. These are just the daffodils for my daffodil field. And then I've had a couple of boxes of tulips make it in from Jake. I'm so excited. It is time to plant some fall bulbs. If we're just now meeting, my name is Jessie and I own Living on a Prayer flower farm here in Zone 8B, Ruston, Louisiana. I work a full-time job, have a family while trying to manage this flower farm. And last year I went a little too big, but we'll talk about that later. Right now it's time to talk about all the bulbs. In today's video, we are talking about all the bulbs I have ordered, all the fall bulbs I've ordered for Zone 8B. So we're talking daffodils, tulips, anemones, ranunculus, crocuses even. I forgot I ordered crocuses. All the fall bulbs that have to be planted in the winter or spring for Zone 8B. So if you're in my zone or a similar zone, you may want to stick around because I've learned a few things. This is year 3 of planting fall bulbs, and oh my goodness, I feel like this year I finally have it down. For the most part, we have a few experiments we'll be doing. So first, let's talk about what did I order. So, as you saw at the beginning of the video, I have 2,500 daffodil bulbs. So, I ordered these daffodils from Dutch Chrome Bulbs, not sponsored, but hey, reach out and we can talk about a sponsor. Okay, I like Dutch Chrome Bulbs. I ordered last year all my daffodil bulbs and tulip bulbs. I ordered from ADR Bulbs. And honestly, when you estimate shipping and everything else, DutchChromeBulbs.com ended up being about the same price, if not cheaper than ADR. And I had a lot of shipping issues with ADR, getting wrong things in. You know, maybe I had just a one-time fiasco with him. I don't know. But what I do know is Dutch Chrome Bulbs did great, and I'm excited. So another difference between Dutch Chrome Bulbs and someplace like ADR or Ball Seed Company is when you order from Dutch Chrome Bulbs, you do have to go ahead and pay for these bulbs. So these bulbs were ordered and paid for way back in March of 2022. So I ordered Can Girl, Ice King, Sunny Side Up, and Bridal Crown. The ground in the backyard has been so hard. So the reason I ordered that many daffodils is because I allow photographers to come out in the spring and take pictures in the flowers. And it's just another source of income for my flower farm. I'm insured. I pay for, Universal Professional Insurance so that people can come out to the property. And this will be my second year letting photographers come on. The first year I had my sister-in-law be the only one, and she did mini sessions, and I made about $600 off of that. So now we're going bigger. I'm putting a whole lot more bulbs in the backyard, and we're going to open it up to more people, and I'm excited. I also ordered 1,000 crocuses. Now, those I don't have much experience with. Let me just be 100% honest. This is the first year I've had crocuses. Currently, the crocuses are in my refrigerator cooling because they do need a cool period before they'll bloom. So I don't know if they'll bloom after the spring of 2023. So it'll be interesting to see if they come back year after year or not. But I got them in purple, yellow, and white. I got the mix, and I'll plant them out there with the daffodils, and it's just gonna be so pretty. So 1,000 crocuses, they're in the fridge. I've got the daffodils still sitting in my living room. Because the ground's been so hard, it's hard to find time to get these bulbs in the ground, and I've got transplants. It's like it's spring here on the farm. Tulip wise, I ordered 1,100 tulips from Jake. I did not realize how many tulips I had ordered from Jake until they started arriving, and I'm like, Jessie, how much did you order from Jake? You've got an order with Ball Seed Company for like 8,000 bulbs. Why'd you order so many from Jake? And the reason is I was scared. that there would be another tulip shortage this year, but there isn't. And I ended up canceling my order with ball seedling. So instead of having thousands upon thousands of tulip bulbs this year, I decided to cut back. I'm only gonna have 1,100 tulips this year. And the tulips I ordered from Jake were Apricot Impressions, which I absolutely love. Last year they are a single tulip, but oh, they are beautiful. Barcelona, Copper Image, Brine Sunrise, a French mix, Tall Cut Flower mix, Double mix, and a Workhorse mix. So all these came from Jake, and they are also sitting in my fridge. For Zone 8B, tulips need at least 16 to 18 weeks of cool time. I think some people said you can get away with 12 weeks of cool time, but we don't get a for sure cool time here in North Louisiana, Zone 8B. So what I found out last year was I planted tulips at 2 different times. I planted tulips in late November, right after Thanksgiving. I planted a bunch of tulips, and I planted tulips in January, the first week in January. Actually, it was New Year's. I planted the rest of my tulips. The ones I planted in November, we had an unusual warm winter. We never got below 45 except a few times that year. So my November tulips, they succumbed to tulip fire. They got eaten by deer. And then the ones that did bloom were like this tall. This tall. It was bad. It was so bad. Thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness I planted the ones for January when I did, because they were perfect. They bloomed appropriately. They were nice and long stems, and they were gorgeous. They were perfect, besides what the deer ate through the net. I had bird netting laid over the top of these tulips, and the deer would try to eat them through the net. So they would take the top off the tulip, realize they couldn't eat it through the net, and drop it right beside the tulip. I'd like to take this time to thank Heisa for sending me these wonderful, beautifully colored rain boots. Heisa makes great footwear, waders, and other outdoor accessories. Guys, be sure to use my link to go visit Heisa and use coupon code FARM15. By visiting their website from my link, they know that you came from me, and it helps out the channel. So tulip-wise, I'm not planting anything until January. Has my earliest date of planting tulips. They're all currently in the fridge. They will stay in the fridge until I plant them out. They are predicting we're going to have a harsh winter this year. And if we do, even better for me, my ground will never freeze here. So I don't have that worry like people in the colder zones have. I'm also going to do a small experiment of planting tulips in February to try and see if I can just extend them. That will definitely be a gamble, because if we warm up too fast, my tulips will be short. They really need that nice gradual warm up so that they don't end up being this tall. So it'll be interesting to see. I had several people comment on my Facebook and YouTube that they plant in February, and I'm like, okay, I feel like it would be too warm by then, but sometimes our February is really cold. So we'll see. I also ordered anemones. I ordered about 500 anemones from Awnings this year, and oh my goodness. So from Awnings, I had gotten carried away with ordering my anemones. I actually had about 2,000 anemones on order, which is ridiculous for me. I am not a big scale farm, okay? But I fell in love with the ones I planted last year. Last year I planted about 200 of them, and they were just such long, beautiful stems. They went well with the tulips. They went well with the daffodils, and they just kept blooming. They just kept going. So I am in love with anemones. I did learn not to plant them at the same time I do the ranunculus, for my zone anyway. I planted anemones in October, early November, along with my ranunculus, and quickly had blooms in January. In January, I had anemones blooming when I had nothing else. So this year, I'm going to wait and maybe plant them in like December. is when I'll plant my anemones. They don't have to sit in the fridge. They're just sitting on my kitchen counter right now. Well, some of them. I got some from Jake, and then I ordered several from Awnings, and I'm waiting for the ones from Awnings to come in. So what anemones did I order? I ordered the Galilee mix. I ordered the Galilee mix from Jake, and then from Awnings I ordered several Mistral Plus rarity options. So I got pink, whites, purples, mixes. And the reason I like the Mistral Plus rarity is because it's these beautiful pastel colors. I love the pale pinks and the pale purples, and they just go beautiful with my white and yellow daffodils or my tulip. And then ranunculus. This year I didn't go all out on ranunculus this year. I only ordered ranunculus from Jake, and I ordered 45 ranunculus. That's all I ordered this year from Jake. I have in the past planted them out. The deer eat them, but I don't plant them in landscape fabric, and the weeds just tend to overtake them by the time they bloom in April to May. And it's to the point where I can't grow them well enough. They're struggling against the weeds. I'm battling them the best I can. I just don't have time to pull weeds all the time. So this year I ordered 45, and we're going to try growing them in landscape fabric in the now deer protected area. So tulips, anemones, ranunculus, all of those are a nice delicacy for deer. So they're all going to go in the deer fence area. The electric hot wire I've got up to keep them out of it. Maybe this year I can grow these plants and not have to worry about deer eating my flowers. So of the 45 ranunculus, what I got were the Romance series. It's a new ranunculus. It's supposed to be really nice, long, strong, sturdy, elegant stems with these big, beautiful blooms. They're a new variety that Jake is trying out. So we'll see how they go. I'm gonna butcher this, by the way. I'm terrible with words. Grinable, Malaline, Martytime, Paradu, and they're all Romance series, so we'll see how it goes. Ranunculus I will soak, I will pre-sprout inside and plant out. Now, today is October 29th. I really need to get them in the ground like today, but it'll be okay. Once I get them in the ground for zone 8, I'll cover them with the frost cloth, because they do succumb to a frost or freeze if you don't get them in the ground quick enough to give them enough time to get really established, and the foliage will die back. So I'll keep them covered with the frost cloth anytime that we dip down below 36 degrees at night, which is fun. It's fine. It's gonna be great. If you get snow where you're at and you're using frost cloth to cover these plants, Lisa Mason Ziegler suggests that you do remove the frost cloth and let the snow just fall on your plants, because snow works as an insulator. Those of us who are in the south and don't get much snow, it was pretty scary when we got a ton of snow the other day. I say the other day, last year, and it didn't hurt them. So I now believe her. Now that I've experienced it, snow is an insulator. Remove those row covers, let the snow insulate those plants. But if it's going to not snow and it's going to get down low to like 21 or below, you really need to cover those plants with the frost cloth. I'd like to take this time to talk to you about something that's going to make your life 1,000 times easier when it comes to planting bulbs. This is the Power Planter Augur, and I love this auger. When I'm having to plant bulbs out in my back area, it is so difficult. I've tried so many cheap augers off Amazon that were $10, $20. They are junk. If you are working with hard, compact clay soil, Power Planter Augur, you just attach it to your drill and then pull the trigger. You cannot beat this. It is amazing. So I'm going to put a link down in the description. It's an affiliate link, and you can purchase your own Power Planter Augur for yourself and make your life so much easier when you're having to put in all these fall bulbs. Now, I don't think I mentioned when I'm planting crocuses. Crocuses will be going in the ground probably in December. I feel more comfortable with that never grown them before. This is an experiment, y'all. One more thing about tulips, I promise. So another thing I'm doing differently with tulips this year is I'm going to be planting them above ground. So I'm going to be doing the no-till tulip method that Jenny Love recommends, which means I'm going to be going and buying some cheap things of wood to make a raised bed, nice and long, dumping the tulips, I'm going to be placing the tulips egg carton style in it, and then dumping a bunch of compost on top. And I'm going to do this out in my sunflower bed area so that I get that nutrients back into my soil, and I can just take off the boards and let it be there once I'm done with the tulips. This will make the tulips also easier to pull with the bulb attached. When you harvest tulips, if you can pull it with the bulbs attached, they will last so much longer dry than they would without the bulb attached. You can still dry store those tulips, but it's better if you can have the bulb attached. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to check out the video here where I ordered bulbs last year and see what all I got then. I'll see y'all there. Bye. Costly, go away. Would you stop? I want to keep a picture with you guys and you're getting in the way. Just smile for the camera.
You have to be in it too.
Can I put... They're not going to pet you either. They're not petting you either right now. Costly. I gotta talk to these nice people. Yeah, I gotta talk to her. I know, I gotta talk to them.